In the latest version of Horizon, there was a new feature slipped in that wasn't in the release notes, but we found it. Substring of string. And this is under your operators tab under the text category. So you can see that's pretty close to the bottom. And this is right next to length of string. Now, length of string wasn't super useful. Let's take a look at it real quick. We're going to head to our values tab, grab set to, then we're going to go back to our operators tab and grab substring of string. And then we're going to come back to our variables tab, create a new variable called string, and this will be called partial name. Okay, so we're going to take partial name and we're going to set partial name, and we're going to actually do a different event. We're going to use when player enters world. And so we're going to go ahead and move this down into here, delete when world is started. And now when world is entered by player, we're going to set partial name to be a substring of the player's name. So we head back to the operators tab. We're going to go up a little bit. You're going to see name of player under the player section. Pull that over. So get the substring of the player's name from the start indexed with a length. Head on over to your values tab and we're going to grab the number input. So we'll start at 0 and we're going to end at 6. And so the practical use of this is if you have a scoreboard and you want to only display part of the name. So if someone has an extremely long name, it doesn't like go off your scoreboard. You can now set it to be a maximum of 6 characters. So this is really cool. So we're going to set partial name to be the substring of the player's name from index 0 with a length of 6. This means we're going to get, if it was me, my entire Lakes05. If your name was, say, Top Hat Nerd, you'd get Top Hat. And if your name was like Mercot27, you're going to get Mercot, missing a T, an E, and a 27. So this basically just shrinks down the names so they're easier to read, easy to still know who is who. And this is extremely practical, but there's some other amazing uses for this. Say you made a keyboard and you wanted to backspace. Well, instead of using substring of name, we'd use the substring of our current string. So say partial name was something you had typed into a keyboard, and then we'd get the index from 0, not with length of 6, but we'd actually head back to the operators tab. Under text, we have length of string, but first scroll to the top, and we're going to grab the minus symbol. And now we go back down to the bottom, go ahead and grab that length of string, and we're going to get the length of partial name and subtract 1. So this will allow us to backspace on a string, which is extremely powerful. There are so many practical uses for this, and there's so much more you could do. Like if you saved notations of what was inside of a string, you could then go and extract that portion of the string by saving several number variables. While it would be a little complicated to do, and I personally would save several separate strings and use plus symbols to add them together, it is extremely awesome to have this really cool new tool. Now I'd like to show you how we can implement this partial name feature as part of our scoreboard. And we're here in Murder Village. You're probably getting tired of seeing this world, but I keep working on it and it is coming along nicely. And we're going to use the version 1 ordered text scoreboard script. You'll remember this from the video, which I'll have linked here as well as in the description. And what we're going to do is when we list off the players, so we're going to scroll down into our display script. So we have the display list. And here we set the player name. Let's see where we do that. Name of player ID. Here it is, right here. Well, we could just go set this to start at 0 and be a length of 6. I'm careful because I want to see what would happen if it doesn't have a length of 6. What if someone's name is only 2 or 3 characters? So let's go into name of player ID and let's save this. So I'm going to use this if statement just so I can set this out so I can use it in just a second. So we're not actually using an if statement, but it frees up this B slot for me to put in what I'd like to put in. So we're going to go to our operators tab. We're going to scroll back down to the text section near the bottom. There it is, substring of string. So we'll go ahead and pull that in here. We're then going to grab our name of player ID, put that back into the string section. And we can now delete the if statement. And now if we scroll over here, this is where we can put in the length here and the start index of 0 with a length of, let's go ahead and say just 2 characters, just for experiment's sake. So I'm going to go stop, reset, and play. Head into play mode. Hey, look at that! LA appeared. That's awesome. Now if we come back into build mode, we can check that there's no errors. Perfect, no errors. And now what happens if we go to 1 longer? So we go to 7, because I realized what I said earlier is the exact opposite of what I was afraid of. So, yep, we got an error and it didn't actually register my name because it was too short. So here we can see substring out of bounds for Lakes05. This means we need to check. So let's go ahead and stop the world. Stop, reset, and clear. So we need to check to see how long is the name, and we only set the name to be if the length is longer than 7. So what we're going to do is create 2 if statements. So we're going to have if this and if that. Our first if statement is going to check to see that the length of the string is greater than or equal to 6. And we're also going to do a check to see if it is less than 6. All right, so we grab the bottom of the text tab. We're going to grab length of string, put that into the left side. There we go. And we're going to grab name of player ID. So that's the string that we're checking. So then we're going to check the number value, which is 6, not 7. So we're going to change this back to 6 and then drag this over into here under our B slot. And so what is going to happen? Well, if it is greater than or equal to 6, we want to set it to be a length of 6 only. If it is shorter than 6, what we want to do is not use this substring. We want to only use name of player ID in the B slot. So this second slot, we have the original, and up here we have our new version, which gets the substring of the name of the player from index 0 with a length of 6. Awesome. This is really cool. Let's go ahead and stop the world. So we're going to stop, reset, and play. And then I'm going to come in as a player. Look at that. It worked. My name's on the scoreboard. We didn't get any errors. And if we go in and change our value, let's go ahead and change our value down to, say, 4 characters. All right, we just changed our values all down to 4 characters just to see what would happen. We come in, and now it just displays 4 characters. And what you can imagine here is now your kills, your deaths, your escapes, your player name, they all start to line up better. It starts to look cleaner. This is extremely awesome, and you can clearly see this is exactly the type of thing it's going to enable, is very clean looking scoreboards. So definitely try it out. Let me know if you have any questions. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in Horizon. Bye!